Wait, you're in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Cool. I have cousins in Milwaukee.
What?
Hmm.
Oh, so have you been?
Yeah, I've been to Milwaukee so many times.
What? Do you have spots?
I don't think so. I usually just like go to my cousin's house, but like a bunch of my family went to Wisconsin, like Madison for college, and so yeah.
So did I.
You did?
Yes, I did. You still
Well, yeah.
was it like people in Milwaukee, like there's nothing that we love more than like people who have been to Milwaukee. We're like a big city, but sometimes it just feels like we just love hearing about people come here and have family here. I mean, you said in the album you talk about Chicago, and I
Mhm.
was like, Chicago's not very far from Milwaukee. I wonder if there is a connection. So,
Yeah, I like all my cousins and my dad went to Madison.
wow. What did your dad study?
I don't know. I think he studied like history or something.
I studied history.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
At Madison, me and your dad, you
yeah,
could chat it up.
yeah.
Um, well, thank you for making Super Monster, and we have been listening to Soft Spot a bunch, uh,
Oh,
and listening to the album. It is such a. I think it's such a tender album. There are so many songs that are um, about being in love, and that kind of like feeling of like being in it.
mhm.
And I think that there's a lot of I listen to a lot of sad songs and a lot of like breakup songs, but I
Mhm.
think that there's something like more vulnerable about writing about that space.
Mhm. Yeah, and a little more optimistic, I think. Um, but yeah, definitely. I feel like the album's definitely like it's just like a ton of love songs. There's some that aren't, um, but yeah, I felt like I usually hear songs that are about heartbreak, or I hear songs that are about like wanting to fall in love, and you never really get like that in between space, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Is it I was like there's the line like are you in or are you in between? Which is like such a to me like such a personal line and such a specific time. Do you think that do you write that being like I know this person's going to listen to this song?
Actually, like that was one of the songs where after I wrote it, I sent it to the person, and like super bold. Uh, but we had already like started, like we had already been like way more communicative at that point. The point where I'm like, haha, like I wrote this when I wasn't sure if you liked me or not. Like now I know you like me, but when I wasn't sure, this is what I was thinking.
When you said that, I thought that you had sent it being like, this is what I can't articulate.
That would have been really bold.
It would have been. Do you feel like sometimes like you have written a song like that where it's a thing that you can't articulate to a person and it's easier is it easier in the song?
Yeah, all the time, but then I usually don't send it to the person.
um well, that's funny. um for Super Monster, I read that it is that you had said that it is about no one being completely a superhero or a supervillain, and that's like everyone is complicated. I think that's like a really important concept and an important like reminder of like nuance in uh, you know a thing that we don't often value. Why did you think it was important to say that?
Um, I think it has a lot to do with the way the internet sort of portrays people, like, in the way that, like, people are perceived online is like, "Oh, this person's this. Oh, this person's that." Like, and I think it's hard to get the full picture of a person or someone you follow, like, just based off of their internet presence, and I feel like the line gets, like, or I just yeah, so I feel like it's hard to get the full picture, and I think that people jump to conclusions about people and, um, in a really unhealthy way, that the same conclusions that you would never make about somebody you know in real life, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, so, yeah, when I basically that title came to me as, like, I was shown this piece by an artist, Daniel Johnston, and it said Claude the Super Monster on it, and I'm not sure what his thinking was behind the title. He passed away like a year ago, so I can't ask him, but um, that was sort of my take on it. Um, and yeah, I really liked it.
I think that is, I don't think that we hear a ton of people like standing up for that side of like, let's, get more, let's think more about this. Uh,
Mhm.
I think that's, I like so much respect for you for, you know, bringing that up. Was there like were you like reacting to something at that time?
No, it was sort of just like I think a lot of my album is about how growth isn't linear and like the awkward parts of falling in love and the like horrible parts of relationships and then right after the great part, like you could have a horrible day and then a bad and then a great day, a horrible hour and a great hour, you know?
Mhm.
Uh and so yeah, so I think there wasn't like any one thing that was like, oh my God, like, you know, not everybody's a superhero, not everybody's a monster. It was more just like I felt like that title really encompassed like what I was trying to say in the album. So I asked Daniel's family if I could use the title.
Oh, it's very nice of you to have done that.
Oh,
Um,
of course.
that's cool. I remember seeing you at South by like
Okay.
yeah, a couple years ago, and it was awesome. And I was with like some music industry people, and I was like kind of like needling around and being like, "Are you gonna sign this person? Are you like what are you thinking?" And it was pretty great that you ended up being the first artist on Saddest Factory, Phoebe Bridgers label. Did you? What did you know? How much did you know of that coming in? Had you like sent them a tape or something like that, or what was
No,
the process?
no, I didn't even know Phoebe at all. Um, I did know. Sorry, there's a truck driving by. It might be loud, but I did know that secretly Canadian like and I had been in touch for a
Mhm,
while. And they've been a label group that I've like really loved their artists for a really long time.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, I didn't know Phoebe at all. I think somebody showed her my music or she came across it online. And I'm still like not really sure. But yeah, she just reached out and was like, I'm starting a label. Uh, and then we talked for a while about like how the label would work and what her visions for it were and what my visions for me are and we just yeah we aligned and it was yeah it was a pretty good match.
That's rad. What is your like? Usually, the head of a record label is the easiest person to vilify. To like take down. How is Phoebe as the head of your record label?
she's an artist, like I think that's the best part is that there are a lot of artist run labels, and I think that's a very interesting and unique perspective on the music industry, like, because yeah, like, she just sees it from a completely different perspective than, like, some, like, dude who runs a label would, you
Mhm.
know? And I really value that, and, um, yeah, it's just, like, shown through in so many different ways, so that's been, like, a huge plus.
When you were telling her about your vision of who you are, what you wanna be as an artist, what is that vision?
I had this idea before I finished Super Monster, like, I knew I was working on an album. I knew it was gonna be a lot of songs. I mean, I narrowed it down to 13, but I had a really, really long playlist of options that I was having trouble picking from, but, um, yeah, I really saw it. I've released a couple EPs, but I really saw my album as, like, my introduction to the world, you know?
Mhm.
Um, sorry, it's so loud out there.
It's fine. I
Uh,
I I can't hear it.
oh, you can't? Okay. Um, but yeah, I really saw this album or this record as like my introduction to the world. Like this is the world of Claude. Um, it's sort of like all things. I'm having trouble articulating this right now, but yeah, it's just almost like a creative bubble.
Mhm.
Uh, from like the artwork that I drew to the music videos are all very cohesive and could almost be like watched like a movie or something, and that I really wanted that for the music videos, and then with the artwork, I put a lot of pops of color and
Mhm.
different creatures and that I've animated later on for another video and stuff like that. And um, yeah, I just really wanted this album to create this world for the vinyl to match the artwork and for the videos to match one tiny detail on the artwork that you might not have even noticed unless you go back to it, stuff like that. I think you could spend a lot of time like diving in, like even like on my website, there's like a million details that you could click on and stuff like that. Um,
What's one of those details that maybe, someone would miss?
um, in so my website is like a drawing of my room,
Yeah.
and me as like a creature like laying on my bed, and there's like a little shelf. There's a couple shelves above my head, and if you click on like the disposable camera, there's a bunch of photos from from mixing my album at Electric Lady, and there's like a bunch of studio pictures, which is cool. I think a lot of people miss that, but
Yeah, I missed that too. That's super cool, and
thank
Electric Lady's a wonderful place.
yeah, the best.
Yeah. Um, Shelly's on the last song on the album. Um, that project is I think we're all waiting for something for that and hoping that there is more. Is there gonna be more from Shelly?
Yeah, one day.
One day. Okay.
It's just like me and my three friends just like texting MP3s back and forth, like in a group chat we have. It's just and we've only been a band for like 4 months, like it's just like
Yeah.
fun songs. It's really
Fun to
nice.
not have the pressure that I'm putting on you. Okay. I will back up. Um, what else are you excited about right now? What else are you up to?
Um, I actually last night I'm so tired today because like last night I did this live stream on Twitch and we played like almost every song on my album for like an empty venue. It was like we played at Brooklyn Steel, which is like a venue in New York that I've been wanting to play for so long.
Yeah.
Uh, and nobody was there. Nobody like was in the audience. And everybody was just like watching online. And yeah, like I had been rehearsing the songs the last couple weeks, and it just felt so good to play them finally and like relearn the parts. Like I spent like 5 minutes learning this like one guitar line on Patsy, even though I wrote it, but it had just been like a year since I wrote it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what did I play? Like, what am I doing? Like, and I had to like, there was this one song where I had to like Google the chords, even though I wrote them. I had to like remind myself based off of like what other people put on the internet.
It didn't feel it was fine playing to an empty room. You didn't feel
It didn't feel weird, honestly. Like the only part that felt weird was like when we finished every song, and then there was just like silence. Oh, sorry, that's my laundry. But yeah, there was just like silence after every song, um, and we just like be like, okay, like song, I guess. The coolest part, I think, was that like this was like the first show of like the summer series that Bowery Presents is doing.
yeah.
And so everybody who works at Brooklyn Steel was like their first time back in like a year.
Yeah.
So everybody was like so stoked to be back, and it was really just like a small crew because we all had to social distance and get tested and be really careful. But it was really surreal. It was really fun.
That rips. That's so cool.
It was so cool. So hopefully I can do more stuff like that this summer. But yeah.
Cool. Well, I would love to come out of this with a song and to go on air into a song from something that you have been listening to.
Cool.
Like, what is a song recently that you have been listening to and loving?
So I'm so glad you asked.
Oh, right.
Shelly is 4 people,
Mhm.
and one of our members that also used to be like a part of my artist project. His name is Josh, and he just started his own artist project called JDM Global. And he put out his first song 2 days ago, 2 days ago, and it's called Cake. And I would love for you to play it because it's so good.
Hell yeah, I will. What do you like about this song?
First off, this song was the first time I had ever heard him sing.
Yeah.
He sounds like his voice is so good. He was like, I recorded the vocals in my car because I didn't want anybody in my house to hear me. I was nervous. He sounds like Beck. Like I swear his voice so good. I was like, oh wow, okay. Like, he sounds incredible. His guitar lines are so catchy. He's always been like so good at that. And yeah, he just did everything himself. It just sounds incredible.
Hell yeah. Great. That's the interview.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.